Thank you. I'm a physician, an AIDS doctor, and HIV researcher. I've watched this incredible transformation of HIV from an almost certain death sentence to a chronic manageable condition. It took a generation of time, 25 years, but through the energy of thoughtful and effective activists, we were able to apply the principles of science to patient care and invent drugs that brought patients back from the brink of death to live rich, full lives. Yet, despite all these victories and the struggle against HIV, I struggle every day to provide care within the United States healthcare system. I went into medicine to fight diseases, but early on I found myself in a daily struggle of hand-to-hand combat against something that we euphemistically call a healthcare system. My training came here in Birmingham, where in the first 6 months at UAB, I rotated through 3 facilities: UAB Hospital, the VA, and the Cooper Green. Cooper Green provided care to the indigent population of Birmingham. But what I discovered early on was that those who came in to Cooper Green often showed up late. And what I was unprepared for, despite all my preparation, was how separate and unequal healthcare was between these 3 different facilities. It was a very deadly inequality. Patients did show up late to Cooper Green, and they showed up late for all kinds of reasons. The most chief reason, though, that they showed up long after they had developed that first symptom, months after they first felt the lump or discovered the blood, was dollars and cents. Hospitals, clinics, and facilities that charged them money was just more bills that they had no money to pay. And what they discovered was that in the middle of all this, they were unable to pay their bills, and they found themselves not wanting to burden their family or suffer the shame of an unpaid bill. Their honor and their shame played into a very dishonorable system. To this day, I remember a 56-year-old black grandmother who had collapsed at home and was brought to the Cooper Green late on a Friday night. She had a massive bleed in her brain, the result of years of untreated high blood pressure. Years of untreated high blood pressure because it was from a system that did not want her in it. The next morning, I went by to see her. I had been up the whole night before, and I looked at in my blood-stained scrubs and vomit-smeared sneakers. It was just the 2 of us in the room. She looked peaceful, almost dead. But when I went in to see if she was still breathing and I positioned my head just above hers, all of a sudden, her jaw came together and forced her teeth together with a loud whack. And I leapt backward, shaking. About 20 seconds later, I crept back to the bedside. She had not awakened. That jaw-jarring snap was some sort of reflex. That was the medical explanation, I told myself. But in spiritual terms, I felt like she was telling me, "Back off, Sonny. I'm here because your system failed, and it's far too late for you to do anything about it." The next morning, she was dead. The woman whose name I can't remember was right. The system had failed. The United States healthcare system can be summed up in 2 words: deadly chaos. And all of us in the system play our part. When I see a patient in the clinic, I need to know their vital signs: blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, and paramount in our system, insurance status. Yes, That's right. Insurance status is a new vital sign. It tells me what I can and cannot do for a patient before I see them. Vital signs are called vital because they're, well, vital. If a patient comes in with, say, high blood pressure, I prescribe one medicine if they have one type of plan, another medicine if they have another type of plan, and still a third medicine if they're uninsured. What's worse, I can't tell at the time I'm taking care of them which medicine goes with which plan. It's a crapshoot. It's often that I don't discover that I prescribed the wrong medicine until someone from my team says, you either have to prescribe the plan's drug or fill out 27 minutes worth of paperwork. Deadly chaos. In 2009, the Obama administration gave us the Affordable Care Act, now mostly called Obamacare. Like all Americans, I watched the debate unfold, and like most Americans, I became angry. But my anger was not directed at the pundits or the politicians or even the plan itself. My anger was directed at us. Despite all of the arguments on each side of the debate, we stood there with equal ignorance making our point. But none of us failed to ask the critical question. What does our current healthcare system look like? And is it sustainable? When you ask any American, who has the best health care in the world? Most Americans say, the United States, we're number one. But the fact is, out of 17 industrialized countries, the United States ranked 17th to 15th in almost every healthcare category except for two. Women who reach the age of 90, from that point forward, we're number one. And the second is cost. For all of these worst outcomes, it costs us twice as much to provide care. Part of the reason for this is that we spend 33 cents on every healthcare dollar on administration or overhead. Compare that to the 7 cents on every dollar that's paid by every other industrialized country on earth. And in our system, a lot of the cost is paid for the disparity between those who have insurance and those who don't. You may have heard the talking heads on cable news say, well, we're not paying for them now. Why should we pay for this under Obamacare? They are beyond ignorant. Of course we're paying for them now. We do this by overcharging those who have insurance to pay for the people who don't. Such popular, arrogant ignorance is deadly. Popular, arrogant ignorance. How many of you know anyone personally who has Ebola? 3 months ago, based on media reports, you would have thought we were all going to die from Ebola unless the United States government protected us against this evil threat. Right? The fact is, we get almost all of our healthcare information from the news. During that month of Ebola, how many people died of heart disease or cancer or gunshot wounds? But that is not news. I had hope that we could break from this addiction to the soundbite to get our information back in 1976. You remember the movie Network. Howard Beale invoked, I want you to get up now and go to your window and open it and stick your head out and yell, we can do this together, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Thank you. The fact that we get our healthcare information and all other information that is of meaning in life from a 30-second soundbite on television is ridiculous. We need to stop and find other ways to get our healthcare information about systems. For example, we could use the Institute of Medicine or the Kaiser Family Foundation, who prepare reports in dispassionate ways that we can get accurate information on our current healthcare system and break away from this addiction to television news as our source. Now, for us to enact change to fix this, simply standing up and yelling out of the window isn't going to likely do this for us. Rather, what I would propose is we learn the lessons from the war on AIDS that gave us the success in the war on AIDS. So here we go. Lesson 1, be aware. HIV is a deadly virus. It took awareness to begin to make a dent in the epidemic. And I'm telling you, our healthcare system is deadly. We need to become aware of the facts. Out of all the industrialized countries, 17 of them, we were 17th in years of productive life lost before the age of 50. We were 16th in deaths from injuries, and we were 17 out of 17 in life expectancy from the time of birth. And for all of this, it only cost us twice as much. Part of the reason for this extra cost and worse outcomes is the health disparities that exist in most of our conditions that we treat. But there's one disease state for which the health outcomes are the same for those who don't have means as those who do. What is that? HIV. Why? Because the activists in 1990 got Congress to pass the Ryan White Care Act, which provides health care for all the poor, gives them equal access to care. Why can't we have a Ryan White Care Act for all of us in the United States right now? Lesson 2, if you have the stomach for it, organize. We can get our act together and take care of people as one. The gay men in the 1980s organized to make a dent in the epidemic about HIV. We can do the same. If you're ashamed that 2/3 of the personal bankruptcies in the United States are cause for a health care bill, do something about it. That's right. Not only do we have the worst outcomes, we can bankrupt you while we're failing to heal you. Now I'll ask you, what's the bankruptcy rate for every other industrialized country from a medical bill? 0, nada. No one goes bankrupt in Canada, Great Britain, France, Italy, or Japan because of a health care bill. It doesn't happen. And oh, by the way, among the people who go bankrupt, 70% of them had health insurance. Hear that? We need to organize. Third and finally, we need to stop being afraid of showing our passion. Passion is what got us to where we are in HIV. Without passion in the streets, without gay men showing placards in front of cameras, placards in front of politicians, without the anger and the fear and the terror and the compassion it sometimes brought, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere in HIV. For most of us, we're afraid of being noticed. Let's get over that. The story is longer and more complicated, but the message isn't. Be aware, organize, and give it your passion. Those who are currently benefiting from the deadly chaos that is our healthcare system are making billions of dollars. They're aware, they're organized, and they are most passionate about their profits. They give massive amounts of money to our elected leaders to enact changes in Congress and beyond to make the world the way they want it to be. For us to be effective, we need to organize ourselves and go out and challenge these political trends to make a difference. 33 years ago, a disorganized, dying group of gay men made it happen. Today, the choice is up to us. Thank you very much.